Jeez. Don't know what to do with you. Just gonna constantly stare and just think about you. You are a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Oh boy. Oh, hey nerds, didn't see you come in there. Just imagine that there was a door, you opened it, and you just found me on your computer looking at pictures of Seliph. Yeah, that's not weird at all. I'm gonna take that back. Anyways, let's talk about something a lot more fun. Since yesterday we talked about Arvis, Red Tome Unit, possible armored Red Tome Unit. It's really up to you. Some of you found it exciting, others didn't. You know, some of you thought maybe he wouldn't be an armored unit, some of you did. Who knows what's gonna happen? We'll see. But, and I say but, there is a possibility that, you know, we'll get a Genealogy of a Holy War banner, and I say possibility because, well, when it comes to leaks, it's a little bit sketchy at times. It's never 100%, but it's almost definite. Mostly because, well, everything else that leak talked about was pretty much just, well, spot on. There's no other way to address that. And unless Nintendo and IS just decide, well, that guy leaked a bunch of material, we're going to change course now, I really highly doubt it. But still, we do know that a new Grand Hero battle is coming. Arvis is, of course, that. And then we're also going to get a banner around that because that's just how patterns work. Technically, based on looking at the dates here, and then the details here. As you can see, this one started on the 29th of September, and usually when it comes to banners that aren't specialty units, as in special units that only are around during this time, well, it's every 2 weeks. And, well, we're getting to about the 2-week mark here, and with that, that means we're probably going to see the next banner start to pop up. And that's probably going to be sometime this Thursday, Friday, around that time, at least from what I can see based on my math, and my math is terrible, so, you know, that's always a plus. Still, nonetheless, we do have to talk about it. We do have to talk about Genealogy of the Holy War, and, you know, several of the things that are coming with it. Now, just so we're clear, I do not know too much about Genealogy of the Holy War. Well, I know I've researched it. I know characters and I know the story, and you know, a lot of you are probably already, you know, getting your torches, your pitchforks, your, you know, your cipher cards, your more common cipher cards that you can use as fuel for the fire to burn me at. But still, well, I guess we just kind of have to talk about what units would probably be in there if I were to go with it. I'm only going with 2 units that are probably more important. One that I'm almost certain is going to be in there, the other possibilities. And no, I'm not going to go into joke, you know, the obvious joke that's been out there, you know, Shrek and Fresh Prince. Although I'm really looking forward to Shrek, let me just tell you. Smash Mouth, you know, plays when you enter his arena. It's going to be a Grand Hero battle. You're going to go into his swamp. He has a passive that's all about onions, but I digress. Still, nonetheless, maybe we'll see them soon. Just saying, shout out to you, Gas, for that one. Still, let's talk about some units that might show up, at least the one that I'm almost certain everyone talks about. The one that I know people are gonna be like, ah, oh, yeah, that's gonna happen. That's the one unit that we know about. So, right now we have 4 units in the game. Seliph, Lachesis, Eldigan, and Julia, all important characters in their own way. But technically, Genealogy of the Holy War, for the first 5 chapters, at least from what I researched, were, of course, played by, well, a different character as the main character, and that was, of course, Sigurd. Sigurd was, well, the progenitor, I guess, you know, the father of Seliph. And then spoilers happen, and, well, Seliph takes over. I'm not going to spoil that, but you can kind of guess based on what's going on. Press F to, you know, pay your respects. Still, nonetheless, Sigurd is a really big possibility, mostly because he does have a, you know, quite a bit of history, especially with Arvis, more so later in life, and you know, before the whole spoiler thing. And it would kind of make sense for him to be there. He's, you know, a big part of the story, and technically, you know, he's also, well, I guess I just have to talk about it because a lot of you always point this out. Well, a lot of you do. Sigurd does wield Tyrfing in his, at least later on, and here we are with Seliph. He already has the sword, and I'm not going to be the one who calls out directly. Well, okay, I won't beat around the bush. Its special ability is, well, it's kind of trash. And I really don't want Sigurd to just come out and just have this sword with him. If he does come out in the genealogy of the Holy War banner. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it. Say just banner. And, you know, I'm hoping that they'll avoid this, but Sigurd does wield this weapon, and it kind of becomes a bit of a signature weapon for him, and of course his son later on. So it wouldn't surprise me, but there's also a few other things about Sigurd that I could see happening. I'm hoping that we will avoid this whole shenanigan, but when it comes down to that, well, Sigurd is also, from what I read, one of the first units that is actually a mounted Lance Lord in the series, at least, kind of. He's the first unit that can actually be on horseback and use a lance, which is cool. Yay! Well, actually, I believe he was actually the first in the series to be mounted on a horse and possess the ability to wield a lance, which, according to that, is pretty neat. So maybe, just maybe they'll go that route instead. I'm hoping. Please? Because I don't want another repeat of Tyrfing. Please, God, no. Seliph already has the, enough problems. And, of course, we already have other legendary weapons that match this without having to have a health threshold at times. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little bit of a whiny baby, which is something that I'm very good at, by the way. Still, Sigurd is probably the one character that I see really happening. As well as Shrek and Fresh Prince. But outside of that, well, we could always, I'm trying to think of units that may have some sort of connection to Arvis, because, well, Arvis is going to be the Grand Hero Battle. The other one that I can really think of as having a strong connection, something I'm not sure will actually happen, or something I'm not sure that I want to see, is, of course, Sigurd's wife, Deirdre. And, oh boy, that is a whole other thing. Mostly because later on, like after the spoilers, Deirdre does have 2 other children, from Arvis, of course. That is Julius and Julia, who we already have in the game. I could see it happening. The only thing is that if that were to happen, I'm fearful because that means another colorless staff unit, and oh boy, I'm sure all of those are exciting. I'm not sure if there's any way to fix that, but maybe they can turn her into a tome unit like she is in Awakening and give her Nosferatu. I don't know. Because the last thing we need in a banner is, well, yeah, another staff unit. Oh, God. And there's tons of other units, and I would love, for you guys to talk about it more so than I, because while I did read about Genealogy of the Holy War, I can't really say what characters would be the best, or what characters you guys would love to have along, other than ones that are important from story standpoints. And since Arvis is not really Arvis is a antagonist, but he is not, I mean, it's debatable if he really is a main antagonist, considering, his son and the Archbishop that kind of manipulates things all along. So, technically, Arvis is kind of like more a secondary villain in a way. He's still insanely strong in his game from what I've read. So, yeah, that's like trying to say, oh man, he's not going to be powerful. Nah, he's probably going to be insanely powerful. It's just, considering the fact that he's, not the main antagonist, we could stand to focus a little bit more on the first generation of Genealogy of the Holy War. And, focus on characters like Sigurd, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen. I don't know. It's really hard for me to say, and I really can't get a good read on characters that you guys would love to have. So if you guys have any opinions at all, I would love to hear them in the comments about what you want from the genealogy of the Holy War banners, outside of probably Sigurd, who's most likely going to happen. If that doesn't happen, I will be honestly surprised. Then again, this is IS we're talking about. They tend to drop characters that just you don't expect, and it's just like, oh, hey, look, we're going to do, you know, Radiant, you know, the Radiant Saga. Here's Alincia, here's, you know, Nephany, and there's Oscar. I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar was just brought into this banner and like, well, we ran out of ideas, so let's just launch the Oscar again. That's what we call the bad unit patrol. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to get 7 more of them just, I don't know, lose my mind. So yes. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Again, I'm not an expert at genealogy, so I would love to hear someone else's input. For now, though, guys, catch you later.